Have you ever found yourself telling someone, "Man, I'm not ready for this math test. I'm just not good at math. I would much rather take an English test." And your friend responds with, "That's not true. You're good at math too." Well, according to Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, this may actually be true. Howard Gardner is a well-known psychologist who created the theory of multiple intelligences. In the 1980s, he began to question the idea of IQ being the sole way to judge someone's intelligence. And so he began extensive research, leading him to the idea that people have several different intelligences. I'm exposed to this theory every day as a kindergarten teacher. However, after learning about this theory, I believe that each one of you will also be able to apply this to your daily lives, whether it be in schoolwork or work. Today I'll be talking to you about Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences, which offers an alternative way to look at and assess intelligence that is not dependent on IQ and has been directly applied in the field of education. I will first review how we define intelligence. I will introduce Howard Gardner and his theory of multiple intelligences, and will address how it has been applied in the education world. Before we start, I wanted to talk about what exactly is intelligence. Intelligence is a word that has different meanings depending on what psychologist you're talking to, what dictionary you're using, and varied other factors. When looking for a definition of intelligence, I came across an article from Psychology Today, written in 2018, titled, "What is Intelligence?" In this article, the author, Neil Burton, uses dementia to describe intelligence. He begins by saying that in this disease, brain functions such as judgment, language, and learning comprehension are compromised. He states that as a result of this disease, people cope very poorly with changes to their environment. And in conclusion, he defines intelligence as the functioning of a number of related faculties and abilities that enable us to respond to environmental pressure. In viewing this definition of intelligence, we can see that intelligence can and should not be defined by one thing, but rather a combination of skills applied in various settings. Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences is a demonstration of this very idea, which is what I will discuss next. Howard Gardner is a well-known cognitive psychologist. In the 1980s, he began to question the idea of intelligence being based on a single test known as the IQ test. Although he thinks IQ holds importance, he did not believe that this is the only method we should use to judge intelligence. This is what prompted him to begin his research on different ways people learn. In his book titled Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences, republished in 2011, he explains how he conducted his research for his theory. He observed people classified in the following groups: prodigies, gifted individuals, brain damage patients, idiot savants, normal children, normal adults, experts in different lines of work, and individuals from diverse cultures. After extensively studying various groups of people, Gardner came up with 7 ways people learn, but has since then added an 8th method. The definitions for each intelligence are pulled directly from his website, multipleintelligenceoasis.com. The first is linguistic, which is the sensitivity to the meaning of words, the order among words, and the sound, rhythms, inflections, and meters of words. The next one is musical, the sensitivity to rhythm, pitch, meter, tone, and timbre. May entail the ability to sing, play musical instruments, and/or compose music. The next is logical mathematical, the capacity to conceptualize the logical relations among actions or symbols. Mathematicians or scientists would be an example. The next is spatial, the ability to conceptualize and manipulate large-scale spatial arrays or more local forms of space. The next is bodily kinesthetic. This is the ability to use one's whole body or parts of the body to solve problems or create products, a dancer. The next is interpersonal, the ability to interact effectively with others, sensitivity to others' moods, feelings, temperaments, and motivations. The next is interpersonal, sensitivity to one's own feelings, goals, and anxieties, and the capacity to plan and act in light of one's own traits. And the last, which was added after the fact, is naturalistic, the ability to make consequential distinctions in the world of nature, as, for example, between one plant and another, or one cloud formation and another. Now that I have explained the 8 intelligences and what each intelligence is, I will address the implications that his theory has had. When creating his theory, Gardner expected this theory to mostly be applied in the psychology world. but never expected his theory to be so widely used in the education system. Since the birth of his theory, a lot of schools and school systems began to take a look at how they were teaching and assessing students. And this is something I see in action every day as a kindergarten teacher. In an article titled Living Legends, an interview with Howard Gardner Part 1, conducted by Matthew Lynch and posted on Huffington Post on January 9, 2012, Gardner explained the two ways in which his theory can be applied in education. The first is individuation. Individuation essentially says that children learn in different ways, and we should teach and assess in multiple different ways to allow them to show their knowledge. The second way is known as pluralization. This basically means teaching in different ways. For example, if I was teaching my kindergartners the letter M, I might teach them a song about the letter M, have them make the letter M with sticks, and then have them write the letter M on paper. As a teacher myself, I can see these ideas being applied in education. We are moving away from boring desk work and testing children with a pen and paper, and moving towards teaching students in a way that is interactive and assessing them using non-traditional methods to truly understand each child's knowledge. In conclusion, it is safe to say that Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences is helping us to become better educators. To summarize, Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences offers an alternative way to look at and assess intelligence that is not dependent on IQ and has been directly applied in the field of education. After extensive research, he developed his theory of multiple intelligence. Although unexpected, his theory has influenced the education system, and not only the way we teach, but the way we assess intelligence and knowledge. I would like to end with a quote from Howard Gardner's book, Frames of Mind, The Theory of Multiple Intelligences, which sums up what I've presented to you. Gardner states, "Sometime afterward, the examiner scores the responses and comes up with a single number, the girl's intelligence quotient, or IQ. This number is likely to exert appreciable effect upon her future, influencing the way in which her teachers think of her and determining her ability for certain privileges. The importance attached to the number is not entirely inappropriate. After all, the score on an intelligence test does predict one's ability to handle school subjects, though it foretells little of success later in life." Thank you.